Hi, this is Carl Polachuk from Small Biz Thoughts, and this is another SOP video for managed service providers. It's tax season, so, oh no, we gotta pay taxes. But it's also a good time to think about how your company is formed. And by that I mean, essentially, are you a sole proprietor, or are you an S-Corp, an LLC, something along those lines? Those are kind of the two major categories. Most people choose S-Corp these days. There used to be lots of advantages to LLCs. Those have essentially gone away in most states. So, at least within the United States, let's talk about how you form your company. The most important thing you have to worry about is taxes. Let's look at you earning $100,000 in two different forms of your company. In both of these examples, you earn a total of $100,000. In the sole proprietorship, you take it all as owner's draws or dividends. In a corporation or an LLC, you will take a portion of it as payroll that goes through the payroll service, and there you're going to pay Social Security tax through payroll. In the sole proprietorship, you're going to pay that Social Security tax as a self-employment tax. So let's look at self-employment tax and Social Security. These are both roughly 15%. It's just a little bit under 15%. In payroll, you're going to pay half of it through the payroll deductions and half is paid by the company. But because your payroll is only 60, you will pay less in total Social Security taxes because you're going to pay 15% of $60,000 and then take the draw of $40,000, you're still going to pay regular income tax on that, but you won't pay the Social Security tax. As a sole proprietor, you pay the self-employment tax on everything. So, of course, you want to make sure that you eliminate as many taxes as you can. This can be quite a dramatic difference if you earn significant amounts of money. Now, you have to make sure that you give Uncle Sam his share. You can't not pay your taxes. Let's be clear about that. But you do have a right to legally limit your taxes to what you really have to pay. Now, you do also have to pay yourself enough. You can't say, oh, I earned $100,000, but I only took $10,000 in payroll, and I'm only going to pay Social Security on the $10,000. That will be a huge, huge red flag. The Social Security Administration and the federal government want you to have a big enough payroll so that you can say, all right, that's a reasonable number in this industry. Could I hire somebody to do that work for that amount of money? Which is why $60,000 is a nice, good number. I think it's pretty defensible in our industry. You can find somebody to do that work for that amount of money. So if you make $100,000, $150,000, $200,000 on top of that, great. You have to pay your taxes on that, but you don't have to pay the Social Security portion of it. Now, completely unrelated to any of that, you need to look at your Social Security withdrawals. You can go to the Social Security website and find out what you've paid in and how much you can expect when you retire. If you haven't paid in enough over the years, well, then you want to go ahead and pay yourself more by one of these methods or the other so that you maximize your retirement when the time comes. Or, if you're good at saving, then go ahead and minimize those investments and put the money into a real investment account where you know it won't get misspent on research about frogs' legs in South Carolina or whatever. A final note about all of this, the form of your company also affects how you sign contracts with your clients. You need to make sure that you sign the contracts as the president of your corporation or as you as a sole proprietor, whatever the form of your company requires. The most important thing about a contract is not whether or not you're going to get sued, because you probably won't. The most important thing is about taxes. The contract lays out the requirements to say that you are independent of your clients and they don't have to withhold taxes from you. They're not responsible for your workers' comp. They're not responsible for your Social Security, so forth and so on. So make sure that you do sign contracts with your clients and make sure that those contracts cover the specific criteria that the government lays out to determine whether or not you are an employee or an independent contractor. For some more tips on that, I also recommend that you check out my book, Service Agreements for SMB Consultants, where we specifically show you how to design a contract to address the government's requirements that you be an independent contractor. For Small Biz Thoughts, this is Carl Palachuk, wishing you all the luck in your managed service business.